I've drawn a rough idea of how I want the figure to be positioned, and now I'm going to go ahead and draw in the figure in a little bit more detail. First of all, I've used this rectangle uh, shape here to figure out the general direction of the central mass, and basically what I want to do is go in and make sure I've made the angles, made it a little bit more accurate. Make sure the mass is, it's basically has three parts. It's got the upper chest barrel, the middle area, and then the hip region. And these lines, still guidelines, they give me a little bit more accuracy about where exactly the body is positioned at and working out the angles. If I were drawing a woman's body, I would make sure to definitely work out between the upper chest and hip. There's usually the hip area is angled back much more, and just to get a better idea about where the front planes are, the side planes are. Then what I can do is I can go ahead and the shoulders I work in with spheres. For males, these circles are larger. For females, smaller, and closer together in space. Males, they're distanced further apart. I'm just drawing a generic figure here, not really working. You can make them taller, you can make them younger by having the heads larger in proportion to the body and that sort of thing. But if I'm just drawing a general figure, then with these lines that worked out the arms, I can go ahead and work out the 3D space that the arms actually take up. And I'm paying attention. When you're drawing a figure, there's always counter position. So if the chest is angled in that direction, it's often that more or less the hips are in a counter direct position, and the arms are similar. If you can see here that the arms don't just go straight from shoulder to elbow, but that there's more of a circular lines lead to it. And with the hands, because the hands themselves, for when drawing hands are as complex as an entire body, so I'm just kind of gonna get a general idea about how I want the hand to go, but I'm not too worried about drawing it correctly, because when I go back to draw the hand, I almost want to treat it like a figure itself, because it can take as much time to draw as the entire body minus the hands. Hands are very in form, they're very complex. They have each finger is a little bit different and moves a little bit different. The thumb comes off the wrist rather than off the top of the palm, and there's a lot of things to keep in mind. But you can see here that I've gone ahead and I'm basically taking it from stick figure into kind of working out the overall, the way the figure goes. So with here, the back of the leg doesn't come off directly the back side of the hips, but a little bit further in. And the kneecap always follows the angle of the shin here. So when you go over the kneecap, it more or less follows the shin, and the back calf. The neck always comes off the front of the chest. It doesn't ride on the top of the chest, but comes off the front and pretty much goes into the center of the head. So you can, if you have a good idea about where you want the head to go, let's go ahead and do it similar to how I had it originally. So with the head, it isn't just like a ball turning on top of a post. Where the head is turned, really, the angle of the neck really, you know, if the head is looking that way, the neck angle is like that. If the head is looking that way, the neck angle is more or less like that. So we want to make sure the head is not just at the top of the chest, but is always moved forward. And so that's basically it. And then you've brought your figure to the next stage, and then you can go over and even add more detail. I hope that was helpful. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment, and check out my illustrated storytelling at solomation.com, and I hope your drawing goes well.